There we go. What do you think of my recycling? I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting no signal out of my good camera. One sec. Ugh. Whoa. Oh, it's so dark. What's going on with all that? Hold on. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix this, and then we're going to start streaming. Ugh. I don't know why my camera just reset itself. That's interesting. It's also got this color grading thing happening, which is fun. Kind of looks interesting. It's like very, very mellow. Anyways, how's everyone doing? I see viewers out there, and yet nobody's said hello yet. Strange. Strange stuff. I've got much to rant about because it's been a couple of days, or like it's been what, 2 weeks since my last stream, and some fun things have happened. I'm just gonna close the blinds behind me before we get into this because my fiance doesn't like being on stream, but we can fix that. Yeah, it's okay. You're good now. Okay. So, today's goal is to put Nix on this. This was my TrueNAS install, but something went awry, and then TrueNAS died. I think this like drive died, and I'm pretty like I assume the data is good, but even if it isn't, like all I did was lose many copies of Big Buck Bunny, all of which I own, so I can just sort of rip them again. No big loss. I guess my old YouTube videos, but I'm not very nostalgic about like old clips of myself. So I'm just looking around for this screwdriver. There it is, because I'm gonna need it to open this up and possibly put in a different NVMe thingamajig if this drive is just done. Actually, I think I'll just commit to that. So we've got some shuffling about to do. Is my chat not working? Or are you guys silent today? Oh, I look so desaturated and sad in the live version. Let me see if I can add some color. That should be much better. There we go. NixOS is the one distro I haven't hopped to because the installer failed. That's the most real shit I've heard today, man. Like, the number of times something that, you don't think should be related throws you off the trail, and you're like, I'll get back to it later. Number of times it's just like, the installer failed, and then it's like 4 weeks, 4 months till you come back to try it again. Happens to me all the time. So, just as a heads up, in the background, I'm running... Where is it? I'm running Etcher now, because I figured I'd start that instead of making you all sit through it. We always do these preambles anyways, right? So... Oh, cool. Excellent. Flash successful. Oh, well, now you're on screen. They all saw you.
That's okay.
Okay, so we have a working... Well, we have media. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of shuffling about to get this power brick over here. I've got my keyboard and everything, so we can get started soon. But I figured I'll catch up with you all first. I had a lot of fun. Okay, so I've been working, this is going to be a video later. I've been working on turning my gaming PC into a Steam box with Bazite. And it is working wonderfully. It's I was doing this with Windows for a while, which I know is like insane, right? But I was doing some Windows only gaming, some anti-cheat stuff. And so I just wanted to test out the idea. And Windows was surprisingly good with just a bunch of registry edits and then launching straight into Steam Big Picture mode. But it's nothing compared to the Steam OS experience, like Steam OS and just sort of like Steam's gaming mode. I've got Bazite installed with Decky for plugins. So now I can load up plugins to my like Steam Deck. Bazite set to the home theater PC mode. And the most important one for me is I got Steam Cord, which lets me from the quick access menu join Discord voice calls. It runs like a headless Vencord. I think that's what it's called, which is like a against terms of service that Discord client. It runs that headless and then drives it so that I can join Discord group calls from Steam's gaming mode, right? So this is not Steam Big Picture mode. I'm like, it's GameScope, and you can still do this. So that's set up, and then I got EmuDeck running. So I've got like Mario Kart for the Switch running at 4K 60 frames per second, and it's just, oh, it's so good. Like, the Switch is actually now the worst way to run Switch games, and I find that hilarious. So anyways, that's been a blast. I really am looking forward to making the video on that. I think there's a lot of people who've been doing this, and they should. It's a really good experience. Okay. Anyways, that's been fun. I got a new phone, which is hilarious because I'm the anti-phone guy. But my phone battery life was so bad that it had to be done. So, okay. Well, I don't have a desk view camera anymore. So you're just gonna hang out with me on the floor while I shuffle some drives around so that we can install Nix on NAS. So step one is we're gonna steal one of my NVMe drives out of the Umbrel Pro and shuffle it into the NAS. Now the goal with this NAS is now I'm gonna try to use it to do all my container stuff too. I don't have like heavy container needs right now, so I'm not too concerned about if the N100 in this thing is going to be sufficient. It will be and when it's no longer sufficient, my hope is that the Rampocalypse will have ended and I can get something else. Woo! Next time. Hello, Michael. How's it going? Yeah. That's my hope. That might be naive and overly optimistic, but that's a little bit the brand. I think naively optimistic about tech is yeah, it's a little bit how I function. One of the things I'm interested in with regard to Nix is how LLMable it'll be. I've been working with OpenSpec, as a bunch of you might know, from like folks from the community, right, who come to my streams. At work, we're using OpenSpec, and I'm using it a lot for personal projects. And I've been interested in the idea of just maintaining my entire home lab config as a series of Nix configs in just a Git repo. That sounds really cool. And I've been looking into various methods of running containers, or some other isolation mode for applications. And Nix has quite a few that I'm interested in trying out. Like, I'm not married to Docker Compose, right? For me, whatever makes life easiest, right? That's that's what I'm in it for. I want my home lab to work. I've tried enough experiments with complexity, undue complexity really, and I'm ready to just make my home lab work. I'm ready. I've tried Kubernetes at home. I've tried big, well, calling my setups big is probably laughable to a lot of people, but I've tried, having my Proxmox set up separate from my NAS, then my NAS blew up. I'm always making things way more complicated than they need to be. And then I never get around to anything. And that's no fun. And this time I was like, ooh, what if I simplify the process? And then I made my home lab way too complicated. I drafted a big, beautiful plan of how I was going to have all these backups and things because I got burned because my NAS died and lots of things keep dying. And I'm like, I'll have to come up with super complex backup strategies, and we'll build up all the backup strategies before I even have applications running because that's the responsible thing to do. And then I never did anything because there's so much work, so much complexity to manage before I could even start doing the things that are kind of like interesting and fun. So we're simplifying. One box, just the NAS. We're going to run all the containers on there. We're going to do this all with Nix. I'm hoping that's easy with a little help from AI. And we'll see where that takes us. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Worst case, I just run TrueNAS and I run containers through that. I don't know. All right, so this is loaded up. An NVMe. I need to do power things. One moment. That should do. I've never had so quiet a chat. Interesting. Hey, Oliver, how's it going? That's why my NAS is just an out-of-the-box solution that I can set and forget. Then I have a Proxmox box that I can spin up whatever on without having to worry about losing anything or breaking stuff. Yeah, right? Like, I'm starting to think that's the way. I don't know. You've all seen me oscillate back and forth between, like, I'm going to have this big complex system, and it's going to be beautiful and awesome and fun. And then it breaks. And then I'm like, I'm going to simplify and make my system really easy to manage and use and only have one piece. And I'm on the simplify end of things now. My hope in all this, right, is that, what I'm doing, or what I've been doing, is learning and moving towards a much better solution, right? A solution, just learning about my preferences, about how the management of a home lab, like what the requirements are, what the time commitment is. I think I've just been learning about myself, the home lab, all that kind of stuff. Matthew Gaming says, good to have quiet tech conversations to sleep to. Am I an ASMR channel? Good night, Matthew. I hope you sleep well. I do think Nix is cool, and it gets super interesting with the AI there to help you write out your config. That's what I'm thinking. I want to do spec-driven development with my Nix config. That just sounds like really cool. You know what I mean? So hold on, I just want to let my dad know I'm live. Huh? Do I not have my father's contact information anymore? I got a new phone. What the Alright, hold on. Let me sort that out. My dad's always like disappointed when he misses my stream, so I figured let's make sure that happens. But for some reason, he's no longer in my contacts. What? There it is. Okay. It's just okay. Weird. Okay, where were we? I tried it as a main PC OS for a while, but I got so frustrated with having to learn things just to use my computer. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, Plus, how's it going? Any thoughts on using the Nix package manager on Mac OS? Yes, sounds really cool. I haven't gotten there yet, but I love. There's a part of me that just yearns for one simple, consistent tool that I can use, and it's reproducible, it's powerful, it meets my needs, and I don't need to move to other tooling, right? So an example of this for me is Vim. I have been using Vim for 10 years now. I don't need Cursor, I don't need VS Code, I don't need whatever IDE JetBrains is putting out these days. I just need Vim. Vim's how I edit text, right? I increasingly don't feel the need to edit text. Let's see if this is video format not supported. Well, we'll figure that out soon. I increasingly don't feel the need to edit text as much as I feel the need to read it, but Vim has always been designed from the ground up to be a tool for reading text more than it has been for writing it. At least that's the way that I see it. You know, they kind of, let's see if this is going to work. I believe video format not supported. What? Are we for real right now? Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get this off the ground with like off screen. Then I'll just chat with you and sort of give you updates, and then we'll see how it goes. Because I've got a little words. I've got a little monitor for this for my home lab stuff, so I'm gonna go grab that, come back, and then I'll keep you up to date. Our solution from here is going to be, if I can't get that working, this thing is running headless anyways, so I'll just SSH into it from my Mac terminal, and then we'll be chilling. Yeah, also, so, good question. Is it Jiggy Jogo? I run Mac OS for a lot of my stuff, so having Nix for my Mac would be really awesome. Be right back. Okay. So I don't know what's up with all this, but we'll solve that later. I've never had that happen. Very interesting. In the meantime, Plus, how's Mux Opus going? I feel like I've seen some updates from you recently, but I'm not in the Discord very often. So this is my solution, by the way. Let's see if I can get this. Oh wow, that's nice. Okay. It's working. To log in over SSH, you must set a password for either NixOS or with password. With sudo for root, or add your public. Right. Okay, to log in over SSH, you must set a password for either NixOS or with password. Okay, let's do that. I feel like giving up brew would just be too inconvenient, though. Yeah, I imagine. This is annoying. Can I do a Control L? Nice. I spun off the DVB stuff from Mux Opus into Swamp Castle, and the clients for it to DVBI PyTools. The latter is public now. Happy about any GitHub stars. Ooh, plus, are you allowed to send links? I feel like I've made you a moderator so you can. 11. Okay, let's see if this works. Is my home lab? Do I not have that? Debian NAS. Okay, just doing a little config off of screen, and then hopefully I'll be able to come back. I think this should. Yes, I just want to send ad links for myself. Ah, you're more than welcome to. I like to make this a place for us to share, you know? I feel like we're a pretty small community, those of us who sort of attend stream and hang out. So, at this point, I feel like less like it's an ad and more like it's sharing with the gang. Use Nix to configure Homebrew and declare which packages you want installed. That's very useful when the package from Nix got some issue or simply does not exist. Okay, cool. Hey, Redward, how's it going? Thanks. NixOS, is it finally happening? Yes, we are working on it. I think we're going to be a Nix channel for a little while. Brew bundles are a thing, though. Using Nix to configure brew sounds overcomplicated. Yes, I have used brew bundles in the past, and it is quite nice. I actually have a Git repo of like my Mac setup. Are we on the floor right now? If so, how is it? It feels great. I actually really love it. My lower back has felt much better since moving to the floor. I've also I've been bouldering, right? Which requires a lot of hip mobility, and sitting on the floor has actually improved my hip mobility quite a bit. So this has been very good. I'm a fan. I think I paid like way too much money for my floor desk. Like way too much money for this. Um, okay, hear me out. I'm sorry, you're at my stream, and if you've been here before, you know my tangents. I'm on a tangent, and the tangent is this: no issues with slouching forward. No, I find slouching forward is actually significantly less comfortable than sitting with a decent posture, and so I end up exercising those muscles more because it's better. I don't end up sitting like this because it really starts to hurt. So that's been really good. So okay, my rationale for the floor desk thing, the floor to stand, was I work from home. I'm pushing 30, and everyone tells me that 30 is when your body really hits a wall. And I thought, well, if I'm working from home, like that wall is going to be extra hard. So, if you switch to face camera for a second here, I've got my walking pad over here, which I use during meetings now. So I just move my sit stand desk all the way up during meetings. I get like, I don't know, 2 kilometers a day or something, like 5,000 steps just from walking during meetings. And I sit when I need to focus, and that gives me a bunch of hip mobility and strength and in the core and all that. And I'm like, can you put a price on the health if you have the money? Caveat, if you have the money, right? I don't know. Seems like a good use of money. Did you ever fix that Windows 11 driver issue, by the way? No. No. Oh my god. Last stream you were tinkering with Windows and NixOS wasn't happening. Yes, that's right. I still haven't fixed it. I have hope. But I spent time building my my Bazite Steambox instead. So, yeah. See if this works. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I'm bringing you along for the ride. Just make sure this is all good. I don't need the Discord open. Everything else is fine to show. I think we're chilling. And no, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Can I pop this out? I forget. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to... No, that's live. How do I pop the chat out? I'm the worst streamer. Do you get anybody commenting on you walking during meetings? I'm a bit worried clients might wonder what the fuck I'm doing. Yes, I've had some comments. Most of my meetings are like one-on-ones with my boss who's a friend. So those are perfectly fine. I did get asked not to walk during important meetings. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I won't do that then. I probably wouldn't with clients. So if you're client facing, I wouldn't do that. But if you're doing like a daily stand up, that's fine. I also don't find a problem doing a little bit of coding while walking as long as it's slow. There were studies that showed that radiologists were actually performed better in malignant identification tasks while walking at a slow pace. So I find that not just anecdotally, my focus doesn't go down. In fact, it can be better. So yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think if I wanted to try it, I would have to build some sort of box under my desk to sit on. Yeah, that makes sense. 2K is a lot. Okay, so what was I doing? I was going to bring you all with me, and we can do desk view, MacBook view. Right, but I need to get my comments. Yeah, that makes sense. Can I do... Which one of these blocks my stuff? I forget. Just turn this off. 2K is a lot. There we go. And now I can bring you all with me. Okay. Pop out chat. What was I doing? I don't have a second monitor anymore, so you're all just coming with me like this. I need to figure out how to be a better streamer, but you know, one step at a time. Oh, we want to go bigger. Okay, so now what? I actually don't know how to install Nix from this point. So learn. Install Nix. No, we want graphical minimal. Yes, you have to run the installer from the console. That's what we want to do. Obtaining, installing. Installing. I think I know how to do all this. What's next? Note, note, note. Yes, we've booted. Is this the graphical? No. The graphical images will start the corresponding desktop environment. The minimal images will boot into the thing. You have to follow the instructions, manual installation. Cool. Yes, we've booted. You can use load keys. We can set the terminal font. None of that matters that much. Wi-Fi. I'm on Ethernet. So none of that should matter. SSH is already good. Partitioning and formatting. Okay, so we're seeing what we should see. We've got the NVMe, which is the where we'll be installing Nix, and then we're seeing 4 drives. Awesome. Create a GPT UFI GPT. Here's an example partition scheme for UFI using devsta legacy boot. I don't think we need legacy boot. So we're going to go that. You're all with me, right? Yeah, you can all see the screen. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm going to go this way. Do I have parted? Yes, I do. Excellent. Using sta. I do not want to use sta. I want to do parted NVMe. Okay, well, maybe I should have just gotten the graphic. Yeah, I could do this. Yes, I do. Excellent. GPT. I do not want to use sta. Oh, I'm dumb. I need to hit it with a /dev. Maybe I should have just gotten the... Yes, that's all good. Okay. Cool. Add the root partition, make part root xt4. Oh, I'm dumb. I've decided to get into the blues, which I realize might be a little bit strange. Why don't I bring this with me? I haven't been playing a lot of guitar lately, and that's something I miss. And so I figured, what the heck? I haven't been listening to much music at all, which is also weird for me. Yes, this is fine. And then I can do a little... Nope. This. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Dixie, how's it going? It's Monday somewhere. Yeah, right? Is that how that works? Yeah, it was a holiday here in Canada, which I was very happy about. I was in dire need of a break. Hey, Dixie, how's it going? Isn't that a line from Hamilton? Yeah, right? Is that how that works? So I was really happy about that. Yeah, it was a finally the boot partition. NixOS by default uses the EFI system partition as its boot partition. Yeah, sure, that works for me, man. So was really happy to get a little bit of time, and I took it, but I was really looking forward to this as well. So I thought, I keep doing that. What the heck? I can just do that. I can just stream at a different day. And then I did. Hi, everyone. I'm streaming. All right, so we need to make sure we don't use the wrong one. I think probably this, if it's doing SDA. What the heck? SDA, yeah. Probably. Yes, that is the partitions, the way that it names these things. Okay, for initializing xt4, it is recommended that you assign a unique symbol label to the file system using the label, since this makes file system configuration independent from device changes. Okay, I like that. Swap and then boot. Okay, that's all well and good. I think I can do this. Oops. Oh, there we go. What do we got? Ooh, well, I haven't practiced for a while now. Sorry, I think I can hear the stream twice, just me. Oh. You might be... Yes, this is playing. There we go. Sounds fine to me. Hey! Was waiting for this. Ah, well, I'm glad you're here. I've been waiting for this too. Hey, Parkerman, how's it going? We got a good chunk of the gang here. It's good times. Nix seems to be something a lot of people have on their mind. NVMe ON 1P2. Yeah, okay. For creating LVM volumes, I don't think I need to do all that. This looks good. Okay. Installing. Mount the target file system on which NixOS should be installed. Just like doing DE bootstrap, isn't it? By label. Okay, mount the target file system on which NixOS should be installed. So not swap and not boot. Excellent. So we should be able to do this by label. NixOS /dev disk NVMe on1p1 is where we put, yeah, disk by label NixOS. Yeah, that feels weird. So we have the partitions. Whoops. Is that aerospace? It is. I love aerospace. Aerospace is the only reason I can use a MacBook is because of aerospace. Without it, I would have gone nuts. Aerospace and Raycast are just they make the ecosystem usable. NixOS mentioned. Yeah. We're doing it. Good. Got your stream up while finishing work. Nice. Okay, so by label /boot. So this dev disk. Oh, I think this can't look up block dev. I low-key have beef with aerospace. Really? What's up with that? Oh, yeah. It is not. It is far from perfect. I completely agree. It is super far from perfect. Okay, so like, what's going on here? Why? So if I do a dev nvm, yeah, NixOS, it's saying by label, but clearly that's not entirely the case. Okay, give me one sec. Boom. Let's try this. Actually, yeah, I can just do this. Does not work with aerospace. I almost never full screen anything. Should work. Okay. We're asking Claude for help. Step 1, ask Claude for help. Okay. But fuck. Following the NixOS install instructions, but hitting this wall. I've labeled accordingly and am using NVMe ON1 instead of SDA. And when I try this, I get this. Cool. Hey, how's it going, Ender? I feel like it's been a while. How are you doing? I honestly haven't found anything better. I don't know. I don't want to mess with security stuff. Yes, I agree. I've tried the Yabai thing, and it did not work well for me. Actually, I can't blame Yabai for this. I can't like actually pin it on it, but I had Yabai installed on an M1 Pro MacBook, and that MacBook died. Like the entire main board was fried. I don't know how or when or why. It just died. I again can't blame it on Yabai, but the fact that I suspect it makes me just I don't want to go through that again. I'm not installing Yabai and turning off security stuff. Pretty much why I'll settle for it, but it brings me pain concern to Linux tiling window managers. Yeah, agreed. I running Hyperland or even the Forge tiling extension for GNOME is so much better than anything Mac OS or Windows have to offer. But the Mac OS and Windows offerings still exist, and they are still decent. It's been a minute. I'm doing okay. Mentally checked the fuck out from work. Fair enough. Fair enough. Are they overworking you? I know you had been going through some like AI exhaustion at work. Okay, mount dev disk by label, this. It's device node, quick sanity, yes. If mount disk by label with special devices does not exist, it means the ext4 label didn't actually get set. Verify with block ID. Never actually done that. Label, boot, NixOS. Okay, the labels worked. Oh, interesting. I had actually forgotten what I named my other my two Z pools, so I'm really happy to have found those. By label NixOS. Let's see if that works. Okay. Not really overwork so much as just general ennui with the company, with where the company is going. Multiple other coworkers have either quit or been let go. Ah, oh, I'm sorry. That sounds awful. You're on co-op though, right? Are you free to go at the end of the summer? Purely the malformed path. The file systems are fine. Run these in order. Mount dev disk by label NixOS. Okay, yes. Wait, is this literal? Is this literal? I actually write dev disk by label? Is that a convention I can use? No, I'm full time. Ooh, oh, I see. Okay, that's tough. I wish I could help. Um, are you looking at other options? Are you thinking about getting out yourself or just sort of coasting for a little bit? Fair enough either way. Okay, I did not know this was a thing. You can do disk by label. This is really cool. There's like a file system alias, but like what? Okay, cool. Either way, I learned something and I'm happy about that. Mount. That's so cool. Boot. Yes, so we're making a directory and then we're mounting. This is all just setting up for the chroot, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, dev disk by UUID was really helpful in me setting up CD ripping rig. That's super cool. Oh, disk by right. So you could label like your CD, your like CD drive thing, and then refer to it that way. That's dope. All right, Nano. Set boot.loader system boot enable true for UFI, and then NixOS is install. Okay. I wonder if Vim is installed. Vim? Ah, yeah. We're chilling. All right, so system boot's already the case, and then we can just do an NixOS install. Okay. Should close Steam, or at least turn off notifications. Okay, cool. So if this works, then should be chilling. And one of the nice things was it inherited the old IP address. So I guess that makes sense because static IPs are not by like host, they're by NIC, right? So this Ethernet port had been set to a static address. Look at that. I'm learning. I'm learning the Linux. I'm getting there. I'm super excited for this. And I'm kind of glad that I've gotten over using AI on stream. At like for pretty much the entire beginning of the like up until now, which is what I've been streaming for a year now. Yeah, I didn't want to use AI on stream. I use it a lot at work, obviously, but I didn't want to use it on stream for two reasons. One, I wanted to I wanted a space where I did things the old-fashioned way, you know? But also, I was a little bit afraid of the perception. I was afraid of like being seen as somebody who doesn't know what he's doing and is just sort of vibe coding a home lab. Um, I largely don't care anymore. I mean, I care about understanding what's happening. I'm very much interested in learning, but the perception thing doesn't bother me as much. What kind of projects are you all working on in the background? Anybody got side projects happening? Only got into FOSS Linux stuff recently. Literally wouldn't have gotten anywhere if I didn't have the super easy help of AI. Yeah, there. I think there's been a lot of positive in that regard. A friend and I were talking about how there's sort of a proliferation of software coming out, open source, free software, because AI makes it really, really easy. And that I think I'm very excited about. I mean, even I have been making more stuff because it's so easy to put software together. And with a bit of scaffolding, you can even get software that's well architected. Yeah, you can get it to look like it is. Very interesting. What was the ultimate decision to try Nix for your NAS? Ah, yes. So the TrueNAS installation died. Right here. This is just going, so we're gonna chat like this, or maybe it's this one. The TrueNAS installation died, and so I could have reinstalled TrueNAS, but I was kind of just upset. I was like, I'd lost the configuration, and sure, there wasn't that much configuration anyways, so it wouldn't have been that bad, but who knows? And I wanted a system where I could automate sort of deploying the exact same configuration. And your two options for that are like Ansible and Nix. And neither, like, Ansible didn't seem any easier than Nix to me, and Nix is really cool. And also, Sarah, like a longtime member of the community, is very anti-Ansible and very pro-Nix. And every time I've delayed their advice, it has been a bad idea. Like I should have, I should have just listened. So going with Nix, I really like the idea. There's a number of affordances I really like. I mean, the features of Nix are awesome. The fact that my configuration is its infrastructure is code, so I can store it in a Git repo. I want to try spec-driven development using AI to spec out my NAS and how it works. I want to simplify my home lab so that I'm deploying all of my applications off of one box. And all of this makes it so that I can do basically like agentic home labbing. Agentic home labbing with like an observable config, like a config I can actually read and put onto new hardware if I need to. All of that's really, really exciting to me. It just seems like an extremely durable way to do this. Yeah. Whereas like traditional Linux systems, and especially systems like TrueNAS that kind of like build are very GUI centric, very focused on their own way of doing things, are very opaque to agents, and that I didn't want that. Yeah. Number of interesting comments. So yeah, that's sort of the rationale. I've got a cross-platform agent spec tool thingy in the works. Ooh, very cool. Cross-platform agent spec tool thingy. Hello from Zorin OS Pro. Ooh, what made you choose Zorin OS? Very cool choice. I'm kind of in the same boat. Anytime I use AI, it has been extremely helpful, and I have no issues having it write resumes for me, but doing home lab stuff, it feels a bit odd. Yeah, agreed. A lot of the time for me, it's just like, I need to remember a command, or I need a quick diagnosis of something. I think, like, I still think through my home lab. It's just useful as an assistant. Basically, being able to port agents / permissions between harnesses. Nice. I've had disappointing experiences with agentic coding. Never conforms to my standards. Constantly forgets things. Yeah, I find the spec stuff helps a lot with that. If you just sick an AI on your code base, it makes an absolute mess. Still catching up on the VOD, but re-Ansible versus Nix, I just found Ansible way too painfully slow, and the YAML config is more annoying than learning the Nix DSL. Yeah, Okay, cool. Makes sense on going with Nix for the NAS. I'm with you. Being able to use LLMs to add functionality to a NixOS machine is awesome. Yeah, that sounds super exciting. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a shot. Oh, I need a password. Woohoo! Installation finished. Okay, so, oh, you all probably want to see that. Boom! Installation finished. um, oh, there we go. So yeah, I think this is ready. We can just reboot this. Oh, no. Oh, we never cherooted. It just handled that for me, so I can just do a reboot. And then as soon as this powers all the way down, I'm just gonna pull the USB stick out, and then we should be chilling. I have Arch and Caelestia. I gave Arch and Caelestia a shot, but I couldn't get past the trial phase, so I crawled back to Zorin OS. Ah, okay. Wait, what is Caelestia? I've never heard of that. Let's take a quick look while this boots up. Caelestia. Caelestia dots. Ooh. Okay, it's a shell. Let's do. Do I have anything over here? No. All right, you're all coming with me. Man, Safari sucks. I don't know why I still use it. Like I actually just can't play this video. Oh, okay. This should work. Oh my god. I forgot what this looks like when you don't turn off all this stuff with like an extension. Ooh. Okay, cool. So it's a Hyperland config essentially, and this is their tutorial. Holy crap! 45,000 views. I need to make a video about this. All right, cool. Use helium. Okay. Buns of wisdom. Great. Just woke from a nap. How is? It's going. It's going. So SSH. This. Okay. Its own use helium. Its own shell. It's its own shell. Okay, so it's not just. Oh, I see what happened here. Good pipe. Okay. So we probably need to do a little configuration before, but that's okay. Huh? Okay, cool. Well, I'm logged in as root. We probably just don't have root SSH enabled. Although I suppose we'll find out. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's correct. We're just going to need to do a little configuration. Use helium. I'll take a look at that at some point. I'm a simple man. I use OpenSUSE, Tumbleweed derived from SUSE Linux, which is as old as Red Hat or Debian distro age-wise. Oh yeah, I'm familiar. I used to have super riced out Arch, and now I just settled for boring near stock Plasma or Fedora on NixOS. Yeah, I did that stuff. It's at some point it's just tiresome. Okay. That was more or less my route, right? So I know very little about Nix. First things first, I need to set up SSH. Okay. I used Nix for 4 months, then like 3 months Gentoo, and got bored with bleeding edge that breaks, so I went with OpenSUSE. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, Helium's a Chromium browser. Interesting. Okay. So, under the Nix... Do I have Vim at least? Oh, I wonder... Nah, this will be easier for now. Okay. So no Vim. I have to use Nano. I probably should have done some extra configuration before I did all this. You don't install enable the traditional way, they won't persist. Everything is declared, yes. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this. I don't have to sudo because I'm root. I haven't created a user, and we're gonna deal with all that later. Services. As long as I can SSH in, we are chilling. Okay. Settings. Services.open enable equals true. Work. Oh, I have to do. Okay, so I have to write this in Nano. All right. BRB typing. Yep. Okay. Oh, macOS on my NixOS Linux channel? Blasphemous. Are you setting up a new server? Yes, I am. Yeah, I know. I know I've got a bit of a weird setup, but I kind of want to make a video. Let's see if I can type while I talk. I kind of want to make a video about what I'm considering to be the final frontier of Linux, like actual real Linux adoption. And that final frontier to me has, like, the way that I see it, is content creation. I mean, it is certainly doable. Let's see if that works. Only needed if the firewall is enabled, which it is by default. Networking firewall dot allowed TCP ports. Oh, cool! It's a little array. Control X. Yes. Yes. Okay. And then I should be able to do. Oh, oops. Just turn on root login for now. Where did I put this? Why did I put it there? What a silly thing to do. Yeah, so for most of this channel's history, I did all of my content creation on a Linux machine of various sorts. I tried all sorts. And like, it worked, it did. But my God, oh my God, it was just problem after problem after problem. The number of times my Mac runs NixOS, the number of times I had to, like, reconfigure OBS, or I was late to stream and all sorts of other things like that because something went wrong. There's too many times, and DaVinci Resolve doesn't work as well on Linux, and I've tried Kdenlive, and I want to be on DaVinci Resolve. it's it's a thing. It's a whole thing. And this is coming from me, right? Like, I'm not somebody unfamiliar with Linux. I've used Linux for the last 10 years. Settings. I see. I've made a typo. Right? I love using Linux. I would prefer to use Linux for all the things, right? But even I've been unable to do it for everything. It's been significantly easier to do it this way. And again, I do believe it's entirely possible. Look at gaming, right? I would argue now, if you don't need anti-cheat stuff, Linux gaming is not just good, it's better than Windows. I just turned my gaming PC, which used to sit under this desk, into like a Bazzite console. It runs from gaming mode, a Decky plugin that lets me access Discord. Like, I can do Discord calls and stream from the couch. And I have, like, emulators running integrated with Steam, so I can play Mario Kart, for the Switch at 4K 60 frames per second while streaming it on Discord to my friends. It's incredible. It's such a beautiful experience now. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that there will come a day when Linux is not just good enough at content creation, which it is right now, but so good that I retire my Mac, or as Sarah does, throw NixOS, like a Nix Asahi Linux type of situation onto my MacBook. That would be so cool. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm working on. I'm so looking forward to making that video. Okay, so this looks good. I think we're all good. So I should be able to do this. Ah, yes. Okay. Just gonna make sure that you can't all see that, just in case. I never really know what the things that count as me doxing myself are. So I'll just do a quick check. Okay, excellent. Woohoo! We are chilling. My Mac is the last gen of Intel Macs. Oh, interesting. Like, for me, okay, this is a bit of a rant, but I'm looking forward to this one. Stealing all your public keys. Darn, they got them. I'm going to contribute to the self-help group of crappy editors too. I've used Kate today. Now I feel dirty. Yeah. Kate send me regularly when I want to view the text. Get out of my way. It's always been for me. Always. Okay. So. Oh, your GitHub account shares all of the public keys tied to your account, which is neat in its own right. Yeah. All right, where was I? Ah, yes, the Macs. Okay, I will be right back. I need some more water. But then I want to chat about Macs, and then I want to. The goal, I think, for today is to see if we can learn how to push a Nix config from GitHub or something like that down to a machine, and if we're very, very lucky, do the ZFS setup to just get my drives. If we can read the drives, I'm going to be a very happy camper. That probably is going to be a next week issue, though. I've been overzealous before and been like, oh, we're going to get all this working today, and it never works. Never works. Fast as I think it is. So I'm going to set modest goals today. If we can just push configs, it's going to be beautiful. I use that in my Nix setup. Of course, I mean, I'm just following your lead. I was saying before you got here, I was like, there's, a regular member of the community. Somebody asked me why I'm doing NixOS on my NAS, and I was like, well, regular member of the community has been making recommendations, and I very infrequently follow their advice until I've made the mistake myself. And I'm like, but not this time. This time we're just going all in. You warned me about Kubernetes. You warned me about Ansible. I mean, how many other things? So, anyways, I will be right back with some more water, and then we're gonna try to get that working. And we're just gonna, and oh yes, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Apple and local AI, because this is something I'm very interested in. Okay. Now I'm back. um, all right. It's really good over the first hump. Yes, I assume that the first bit is going to be painful. Um, but if we make it through, it'll be great. You know, just like Vim. Much more of my favorite topics. I can ramble nigh endlessly on local AI. Yes. Okay. So one of the things that makes me that has like made me excited about Apple hardware in particular is it's it's pretty much the only reasonable hardware right now for running local AI on a laptop. Right? So for example, you can today get a MacBook Pro that can run Qwen 3.8 now, the 27B model, um, and actually do offline agentic development. I don't know any other hardware that can really do that, right? And certainly not with the power consumption, the battery life, like all of the efficiencies of Apple Silicon. Apple Silicon is just leaps and bounds, from what I can tell, ahead of almost everything on the like jack of all trades level, right? Like, yes, you could absolutely build an NVIDIA based or even AMD AI server that's like super powerful and faster, but like the power consumption would be a lot higher. It's like stuck in one place. I don't know anything that like I don't know any laptops that can keep up like that. I need to reorganize my PCs. Strix Halo based laptops from people like Framework is also very good. I okay. Which what exactly is Strix Halo? I mean, I've which yes, this is the AMD stuff, right? It's not like I've seen the benchmarks. It's not performing at the same level as the Apple stuff. Like it's doable, but on battery life, on like I can edit 4K video on my laptop over the network with my MacBook Pro. I haven't seen anything else able to do that kind of thing. Um, it's actually one device that can do local AI more powerful than anything else I've ever seen, and do video editing. If Apple didn't do the metal thing and instead went with Vulkan, we'd all be gaming on Apple Silicon too, right? Like, but alas, they did the stupid thing they did. Gorgon Halo. Okay, I'm not familiar with this. The unified RAM in Apple Silicon and Strix Halo stuff is super cool. Super low power consumption. Yeah, the benchmarks I've seen are impressive in other spaces, but like it still looks to me like Apple's leading, but not by like a massive margin. What I've been unimpressed with is the newest Intel chips. I saw a bunch of videos that were like, oh, the newest Intel chips are finally the Apple killer we've all been looking for in the Windows space, which really reads everybody's space, you know, like Linux users in particular. And it's like, those chips are not keeping up. They are way better than previous generations of Intel chips, but I'm not editing DaVinci Resolve. Like, I'm not editing in DaVinci Resolve on one of those, like, i7, the newest, what are they, Core Ultra chips? That's not it's not enough. But yeah, I just don't see it being plug and play like Nvidia and Apple. That's what I've seen so far. I would be very happy to be wrong, right? So like I'm saying this is what I've found. I would love to be wrong. Chris Titus has some good videos on getting DaVinci Resolve up and running, but it's Arch only and enough hops to be a hassle. Yeah, it's one of those things. Because I did that. I had DaVinci Resolve working on Arch. But it was so many hops and such a hassle to maintain, right? So it's the cost of maintenance that was getting me. Yes, agreed. The 27 billion parameter range is not quite good enough, but it has been very impressive. But I mean, with Apple Silicon, you can go up to 120 gigs of RAM on a MacBook Pro. So let's imagine a world where I get an M5 Max with 128 gigs of RAM. If Qwen 3.8 drops like 120 billion parameter model, there is a possibility you could run that on that laptop. That would be something. But yeah, I already sent you a flake for Nix that one-shots full DaVinci Resolve setup. Ooh. There's another part of Nix that's awesome, right? Like instead of sending me a shell script or sending me a blog or a tutorial, it's just a Nix flake, and you're boom, done, good to go. I'm very much looking forward to this. I think the trade-off is: do you really want to use the compute on a laptop? It really is better to just try and cobble some kind of inference server as a standalone machine and just serve it yourself. Agreed. But even then, right? Like if you're just a person who wants to self-host AI without doing a bunch of like building an NVIDIA rig with multiple GPUs or something, just buy a Mac Studio. Done. Right? It does seem to me the easiest, fastest route. And again, this is like, I'm not trying to be an Apple shill. I have no allegiance to this company. I don't give a crap, right? What I'm doing is putting forward that this is the thing that I've found as easiest so far. But I'm too afraid to update on Fedora. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be afraid of updating, right? Like for creative work, macOS is the golden path. And I'm so looking forward to a day when Linux is up there too. Yes, but the Strix Halo machine costs less and doesn't lock me into Apple. Yes, exactly. And so that's your trade-off, right? It's the performance difference, but it costs less and doesn't lock you into an ecosystem. And that's fair enough. Okay. So that's my rant about this. Let's continue on with what we got. So we're here. Oh, wait, I need to put you over here. So we've got this thing. We can SSH into it. We don't even have Vim yet. So I forget where does it store these files? It's Etsy NixOS. Whoops. I tried to do Vim things. Users, programs, some SWID wrappers, services, networking. How do I add? Is it packages or service? It's not services, it's programs. Programs.firefox.enable true. So I think we probably want to do something like programs.vim.enable equals true. Like, how could that be wrong, right? And then we do a NixOS rebuild. And then there's one more part, right? We need to do a rebuild, but then we do a switch. I need Vim. It's certainly cool that you can do it on a laptop. Yes, but the Strix Halo machine costs less. And yes, the performance difference, but from what I'm seeing is like, yes, so agreed, like it's not that far ahead on the on the AI front, but from what I've seen, things like, I mean, the Apple systems aren't running as hot, and I haven't seen good signs about like video editing to the same degree as you can on Apple Silicon. But again, could be wrong, and we also have to take into account that content creators for hardware content creators, so people who review hardware that are specifically focused on content creation, are of course like super biased, right? Like Apple's been dominant in that sector for a long time, and they're probably deep in the Apple ecosystem right? And so you would need an extreme leap, I think, of non-Apple hardware in the content creation space to really rattle that cage and have like people who are content creators about hardware acknowledging that something other than Apple is winning that space, or at least neck and neck. Interesting. Like, yeah, I guess I haven't thought about that bias until now. Okay, so we've got the rebuild, which means I can do this. Excellent. I assume... Oh, no, I didn't want to do this. I assume... So now we can do this. Etsy... Nix... No? What's the file? How do I keep forgetting this? No, that's right. Yeah. Vim, Etsy, NixOS, config. Just didn't tab complete for some reason. Now I can go to... Is it software or was it programs? Okay. And I assume I can do Git. Sure, I've said my piece. I won't fight you. Yeah, no, that's fair. I will look more into the Strix Halo stuff because I mean, right? If I could move to a Nix based Framework Pro and it performed like it did everything that I wanted it to do, oh, I would be a very happy guy. Etsy. There's also Etsy Nix, so that can get you. Sorry, wow, words. So that can get in the way of tab complete. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we're SSH'd in over here. We've got this. This is. Let's create this. So this is our home lab config. What I want to do at this point is clear. I'm building a Nix-based NAS. My goal is to get... Actually, hold on. Let's do this. So I'm going to use OpenSpec here, which is my favorite way of doing agent stuff. I moved my config out of Etsy to make my life easier. Yes, I remember we were doing that on the workstation that I was going to use. Oh, can't see screen. Thanks. We were going to do that on the workstation. I think I'm just going to work from the Mac mostly. It's easier for streaming purposes. One day I'll set up a separate machine for the streaming, but I've got the single monitor, right? Everything's always a work in progress. But yes, I remember we did that while we were working on that. I will start there probably. So let's do this. I'm working on a Nix config for a NAS / self-hosting box. The box will both manage containers and data. Actually, we're not even going to get there. We're just going to not confuse it and start with the NAS part. Okay, working on a Nix config for a NAS self-hosting box. My goals are to be able to push a Nix config from this Git repo to the box. And to pick up, oh yeah, let's start there. I probably want to move my config out of Etsy. I also need to find the drives and put them into their respective Z pools. And let's do this. We can do one of these and just grab it. Boom. The full garbage bin. Which, oh, yes. Hold on. I can probably move it off screen. Will clear itself out after 30 days. No, unfortunately, we will. I'm on dishes. That's my main one. Okay. Nix does have a remote build command. Very cool. Okay. Let's see about that. Nix. Actually, while we're waiting on that to cook, I want to see Strix Halo DaVinci Resolve benchmarks. Or let's do Strix Halo. Very curious. I'm really hoping I'm wrong here. Oh, there's okay. Cool. DGX Spark, Mac Studio, Halo. Yes, these are the players, no? Okay, this feels unfair. I just... Okay, this makes more sense now that we're looking at the price difference. This is adorable. This is adorable. Where can you find 3 3090s for $2,400? Open source and free. Nathan, have you heard of Vorsaint? Just got featured in a Bog video and seems like the holy grail of Mac utility apps. Oh, I haven't. That sounds cool. Vorsaint. Menu app. Okay. I'll take a look at this. I'm going to leave that open for after stream. Okay. Let's see what it's doing. Good clean slate. Let me lay out the landscape because you've actually got 3 separate problems tangled. Yes, of course. Yes. How config gets there? Push from laptop, remote deploy. What the box stores. Yes. 1 and 2 are really one decision. Adopt flakes. Deploy remotely is almost free. Awesome. 3 is largely independent. The disks are already ZFS, and that changes everything. I love I love the Claude language, and that changes everything. Yes. Yes, I know that they're already. We just need to import them. Do these pools still hold data you want? Yes. Can I create a flake that handles the import? Is that possible? I wish you could get them that cheap, but you can get B70 Pros at a good price. I don't. What's the B70 Pro like? What's the performance on that like? There are 2 philosophies for ZFS on Nix, and they don't have to be the same choice. Pool usage, every rebuild, pool creation. I don't want pool creation. We're not doing pool creation. For NAS with mirrored VDEVs and data you care about, a lot of people. Myself! Claude is a person now. Interesting. Yeah. Go flakes and remotely deploy. Remote deploy becomes trivial. Hosts nasd configuration.nix. Yeah, whatever. Perfect. The hardware configuration.nix is the one file you do want to copy off the box as is. Then everything else you author in the repo. Okay. Disco mentioned indeed. Okay, so I was reading about Disco and I was like, this sounds like I could easily screw this up. Approach. Switch flake nasty target host. No tooling. You already SSH as root via Ansible key. I'm sorry, Nixify Proxmox? Are they saying that I can drive Proxmox via Nix? Is that a thing? Gotta watch that video about the aircraft mechanic document being the cure to AI slop. Yes, I saw that. There's better alternatives, but it's basically tells Claude not to use any silly buzzword and talk normally. Rollback on failure, profiles multi-host. That sounds cool. No, we're doing no Ansible. We're moving off of Ansible. Pretty much entirely. For the Nix cases. Deploy tooling. Happy to start with NixOS rebuild target host and adding deploy RS. Okay, let's take a look at that. Deploy RS. Sarah, do you recommend this or are you... Oh, Nix run. Okay, this is really cool. And I'm guessing flakes are configuration flake.nix. Yeah. Cool. Hell yeah, sops. Okay, cool. So we're a big fan of deploy RS. That's the play. Dang Claude already talking about sops too. We're going to completely. I mean, secrets and NAS run services. Yeah, want to plan for sops Nix. Yes, I'm down for that. Scope of the repo. Just nasty. Okay. I've actually never done SOP stuff, but I'm really excited to. We're looking at it at work, and whoa, that looks really sweet. So I think what is it? Is this a GitHub thing? GitHub SOPs? Get SOPs. Secret operations. SOPs is an editor of encrypted files that supports YAML, JSON. Nice. Ooh. Oh, this is very cool. Cool. Okay. Let's learn a little more. Keep structure visible. All right. Mozilla. I'm unfamiliar with deploy.rs. Okay, dude, I tried to have a simple VPN on-off switch for my laptop on Nix, and I fell into the SOPs rabbit hole and just got so confused with SOPs. Awesome. Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do... Let's start with NixOS rebuild target host and defer other deploy tooling for later. For secrets, SOP sounds awesome, but that's also deferred. Keep a list of deferred design decisions. Today we're going to do a simple NixOS rebuild switch flake. The repo holds more than one hosts config, so just do NAS. NAS. Don't even make the directory named nasty. That's tying it to the host to this particular host. So I don't want to do that. And you already SSH as root via Ansible key. No, I don't. But I guess, yeah, it thinks so. Okay. So let's get the project structure in place. Ensure Vim, SSH, ZFS are installed, and we can import those Z pools. Cool. Okay, yeah. So I'm actively fighting an urge here because I know my usual approach would be like, yeah, let's do the SOPs thing. Let's deploy RS today. Screw it. Let's just try to get everything, all the cool stuff now. That never works. So we're going to do the smallest, easiest possible thing, which is this, and see if we can get the flake setup working. That's what we're going to do. And then, let's see, pool already exists. Yeah, we're going to figure that out after. What else? I need to get the SSH key over here. So, I don't remember how to do that. How do I get, how do I use SSH key access to get to my Nix-based NAS? You don't need deploy RS, but SOPs Nix early is not a bad idea as a first next. Yes, I think I'll want to do that early before we start stacking a bunch of secrets, and then the weight of migrating over is a pain. But today is just, let's get the smallest win. Let's make it so that I can see those pools again. How do I use SSH key access? Just to get my max SSH key onto the Nix device. I forget the name of it. I forget that command. Okay, I'll read that after. First thing I want to do is this. Yeah, whatever. Ah, perfect. If password login is currently enabled on the NAS, option B, declarative, survives rebuilds. I mean, we obviously want to survive rebuilds. Okay, so right away, we're facing... Is this a secret issue? You have AI and systems built with text files. There's no weight anymore unless you're in truly cosmic complexity. Oh, I guess you're right. That's really cool. Okay, I do want to create a user here. So I guess we'll deal with this shortly. Yeah, so Flake can absolutely handle the import. And for data pools you're keeping, import is the only thing the config does. Creation already happened. Okay, we currently still have password authentication, right? For SSH. So we can probably do this target. Do I need... Yeah, that might work. Okay. Declarative ZFS import works. Pool already exists on disk. NixOS imports it at boot. Host ID required. networking, host ID, boot supported file systems, boot ZFS extra pools. Yes, right. Generates a systemd service that imports those pools at boot. That's cool. Datasets carry their own mount points inside the pool, so you usually don't declare file system entries at all. ZFS mounts them itself. The Nix config never partitions or creates. Cool. Host ID must match, or first import needs -f. If networking host ID doesn't match what created the pools, the boot import fails until you do a one-time Z pool import -f. Okay, probably going to need to do that. Run host ID and set networking host ID. Okay. Add a docs directory with runbooks. Put this runbook as /docs/ NAS / zpool host zpool first import.md. Do this now. Don't wait for proposal. And give me the instructions for the first time import in that doc. Just showed up here from the title. Have you heard of dplaneOS? I have not. Also, hello, Swag Ghost. Great name. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a lead up. I'm feeling this tension where there's a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but I don't know what order to do them in. Like, for example, looks like configuring the host ID would be a good idea. That's got to go in a Nix config. Configuring other hosts. Yeah. Okay. Let's deal with this now. Configuring the SSH keys would be nice to do now. But what are you going to do? I'll deal with that later. All right. List importable pools without importing them. Really? I didn't realize that did that. We don't have ZFS stuff installed. Okay. So we're going to have to do etc NixOS config and yeah, and it doesn't know this either. Okay. It's okay. Until you touch those disks you're on Nix, you can just do and it doesn't really break. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I'll just start doing stuff and we'll see how it goes. Okay. What's the way to install ZFS on via... You can do Nix shell for it if you need. I don't know much about the Nix shell stuff yet. What does Nix shell give me that I don't that futzing about with the config doesn't? Does this let me do faster installs and stuff? Okay. Add the pools minimum to enable. Okay, we don't have that yet. So I think we want to start here. Boot. I guess these just go wherever. And beef. Why is that the name? Nope. Come on. This way. And what is the host ID? Just NixOS. Okay. I do want to change it. Do I have host IDs? Probably somewhere else though. Host ID. Host name. Networking. Okay, let's go up here. Yes. What's the difference between host ID and host name? Sort of, yeah, but even more so. What do we got? Like a portable program on Windows. Oh. I want to run this temporarily without fully installing it. I used it for a color picker the other day. Oh, that's really cool. Oh no, this one. Different things. One is a human label, the other is a machine fingerprint that ZFS cares about. Oh. Cool. Gotcha, because you're not even really downloading it permanently. Okay. DNS SSH prompts shows in hostname. Change it freely anytime ZFS does not care. Host ID, a 32-bit machine identity, 8 hex chars from host ID command. Oh. You'd think I know these things, right? Okay. So we're not yet ready to do this. Let's do this. Host ID. Host ID is this. I probably shouldn't have shown you that. Is that the case? Does this need to go in quotes? I'm going to guess yes. Okay. That's a typo, it looks like. And then host name. Okay, and then we should do, what is this? NixOS rebuild? That didn't work the way I thought it would. Switch, right? I have literally the same host ID. Cool. That started my NixOS as a NAS journey. Oh, okay. Sorry, what was it called again? I've recently put NixOS on my laptop. So far, it's been pretty interesting. I didn't do too much research into NixOS beforehand, so I'm not really sure what its whole deal is. Okay. So after this, we should be able to do the zpool import stuff. Which only applies the config on boot as the new generation use. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So where are we? We're here. We're still doing this. Everything looks good. Oh, cool. Okay. So if you get very lucky, so we should just be able to do this now. Zpool import. Oops. Typo. Okay, weird. Do I need to reboot? No, right? I don't think so. Well, boom. Let's just debug this. Root. Reboot fairly likely. Root. Can I not do this as root? Try running modprobe ZFS as root to manually load them. I'm already root. Aren't I? That error is actually 2 problems stacked. Doesn't set. No, I just turned that on. Yeah, this is the problem. Okay. Missing command args. Okay. So this is bizarre. We have this. Um, Here, whatever. Let's just do this. Okay. Pick ZFS compatible kernel. I don't think that should be necessary. I did install. I did add ZFS to the supported file systems. It's for version control snapshots, but its calling card is deterministic configuration. How does it differ from Nix? That's interesting. Like, oh, sorry, no, you're responding to. Okay, gotcha. Where do people usually store their Nix configs for version control? GitHub publicly, a private GitHub repo, self-hosted Git. I think probably private Git would make the most sense. I would want it not on my own hardware, right? Because if my hardware goes down, I need to get it. You're still running the old kernel. The new user land immediately. Kernel modules are tied to booted kernel's closure. Okay, yeah. I think I'm being sent on a wild goose chase here. Prints a path. Module built fine is supported. Just reboot. Prints nothing. The module didn't build. We're back to the kernel compat problem. And need boot kernel packages set to a ZFS supported LTS, then rebuild. Okay, let's do a search. ZFS import NixOS. There we go. ZFS integrates into NixOS via the boot ZFS services options. ZFS often does not support the latest kernel versions. It is recommended to use an LTS kernel version whenever possible. The NixOS default kernel is generally suitable. If your config specifies a kernel version that is not officially supported by upstream ZFS, the ZFS module will fail to evaluate, blah, blah, blah. Yes, this is, I think, what I'm getting. To use the latest ZFS compatible kernel currently available, the following. Cool. Dplane OS was the NixOS as a NAS project. He has some auto magic stuff in there, so it's good to reference, but learning what he does might take some time and effort. I keep mine self-hosted. Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't think that would work, to be honest. Let expecting inherit. Ugh. Not looking to do root on ZFS. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do. What do we have? What's the modules config check? Checked. Let. Okay, the problems with the let statement, which happens here. Does this happen before? Oh, interesting. So this happens here. This. And then. Ooh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Then here. we get this. I think that's how that works. There we go. SOPs means my configs can live on any public repo I like. That is the appeal, right? That is what's exciting. Okay, cool. I didn't realize that was how that worked. So there's this let syntax, let in, and then latest kernel package. I'm guessing what we're doing is at some point we define latest kernel package. Yeah, we define latest kernel package. ZFS compatible kernel packages. We set that. And then we set latest kernel package. And then in this scope, we're saying set boot kernel packages to latest kernel package. Okay, cool. That makes perfect sense. So boot ZFS import root is using default value of true. That's fine. So now I'm guessing I need a reboot. Cool. Is camera out of sync with the voice, or is it just time? Ooh, that's annoying. Sorry, I hope. Let is easier to think of as the arguments to an in function. Okay. Oh, okay. So here we're saying we're computing what the argument. So we're defining kind of like a function signature, and we have this and we have this. And this whole thing, lib.filter adders, so kernel packages, built-ins match. We're getting the kernel packages and built-ins try eval kernel package success. And so we're doing some filtering. So these are attributes for the filter. And this is what we're filtering. And then we assign it here. Okay. I think I'm fine with that. Just me, old laptoping public Wi-Fi don't like. Okay. Where were we? Nice. I love this for me. So now we can do ZDB list. Is that right? Did I just do that? Said ZDB-L thing. ZDB, it's just -L. Pooh. Okay. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for host ID and host name. This. Okay. So no host name. Or sorry, host ID. Just a reminder, Nix is a full functional language, even if it's often written like a funny config file. Yes. Yes. So grab the pool name. So we have two. It's media bin and small boy. Pool was previously in use from another system. Can be imported, use zpool import. Okay, cool. I think that's probably what we expected. So we want to do zpool import -f small boy. Cool. I can hear that. I can hear the discs whirring. Okay. Online. Love it. These are working. Pool 1, pool 2. Okay, so these are now fixed, essentially, right? Pog. Great. Which means if I do the same thing from earlier, if I do a ZDB-L SDA or /dev/SDA1, when we get this huge thing, the host ID will be that, which is I forget the grep. Let's see, NixOS config, and we're looking for host ID. It's not. It doesn't seem to have updated the host IDs, right? Host ID hasn't updated. Okay, so I have with the -f, but when I do a ZDB-L after, I don't, the host ID is still the same as before. What's up? All right. Anyone else have a Nix-based NAS home lab? Not yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so now what we should be able to do, so I should be able to do this. Supported file systems, we're doing this already. We can go ahead, do this. And we have small boy, media bin. Okay. Everything of mine is NixOS now. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Zpool export, do a clean cycle. Okay. Let's do Zpool export. Do I have to name the thing? Yes, I do. Media bin, Zpool export, small boy. Now, can I import them? If the import works without a -f, then we're chilling. So probably if I do a ZDB list, dev sta1, once we reboot, it'll update. Probably. Now we have this, so they should import automatically now. Is there anything else I'm missing? Post import sanity, whatever. Okay. So what we're gonna do is do a NixOS rebuild switch, and then we're gonna do a reboot and see if our pools mount. If they do, then this has been a great start to our project. Yeah. Okay. Why am I doing all this here? Because I needed to do the -f for the first run. Right. Okay. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just copy paste everything from the current config. Password entry required. Please enter password with the systemd tty ask password agent tool. This would have been a great time for NixOS rebuild boot, so you don't waste the portion where you transition into the new system. Yeah, but we're getting an interesting problem here. What's up with this? What do you mean by waste the portion? So you didn't waste the portion where you transition into the new system. One of your datasets has ZFS native encryption. Why? Oh, I think the TrueNAS thing. Answer the pending prompt right now. Run the agent it literally told you about. I use NixOS Hyperledger for my everyday. Very cool. ZFS load key prompts for passphrase. Once entered. Okay. What this actually surfaces a real decision. Encrypted dataset plus headless NAS boot. Key location equals prompt. Blocks every boot rebuild waiting for a human. A key location equals prompt dataset will stall every unattended boot and every NixOS rebuild. No good for a headless box. You have a few directions. Key prompts, no. Key file, key via SOPSNIX, boot ZFS request encryption credentials. SOPSNIX from auto prompting. You mount encrypted datasets on your own schedule. Okay. So the first part of a rebuild is building things, then it adjusts symlinks, then it stops and restarts services. Okay. So I guess I encrypted my photos. But key file on NVMe root. So this is lost. Okay. That encryption key is lost. Can I just delete the dataset? Luckily, there's no photos in it, so we're chilling. That's fine. I already know what's in there. It's nothing. We're chilling. Make sure it's not mounted. Mounted. No. It doesn't. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to recreate photos now. I'll do it later. That way I can store the encryption key in SOPs. So immediately, we're already pro SOPs. Can I do boot now? ZFS destroy commands always make me poker for snapshots. Yeah. I mean, luckily that was empty, so we should be chilling. So we've done some amount of successful configuration now. I use AI anytime I'm stuck on something, which I'm currently on Claude. I'm really excited by the idea of moving to local AI, but I think that's a few years out for me. I think maybe 2 for like software development stuff. Really, we can't. That's not gonna work, eh? I see. So if I do this, is this gonna work? No. I just want to grab the file. I guess I can SCP it or something. It's been a long time. How does this work? TLDR SCP. I think the build broke. Warnings? Did it? Yeah, I like the idea of Pi. I've been looking around, but Claude doesn't let you move, which pisses me off. But we use Claude at work, so I'm very familiar with it. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Copy a local file? No. Use a copy a file from a remote host. This is what we want. SCP, remote host. Path should be etc NixOS configuration. Oh, wait, hold on. I tried GLM 5.2 with Calibri and didn't have quite enough RAM to see if that was worth pursuing. Holy crap, the fact that you're even approaching enough RAM for that is crazy. Cool. Failed to start transient service. Unit NixOS rebuild switch to config service was already loaded or has a fragment file. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to do this. You now have... Okay, destroyed. You now also have the current configuration.nix. Should I also grab ls etc NixOS? Let's also grab hardware. GLM 5.2 was pretty exciting when that dropped. Configuration.nix. So we're going to grab this. And to work with. Oh, I need to sign off soon. It's getting late. I just really want to see. I mean, it's pretty close. What's left, right? We basically, I want to be able to do this new form of configuration. Two separate things are stuck. System D unit blocking the rebuild and the warning worth acting on. Okay. I want to see it rebuild from Git. I'd offer to help, but you got it. Also, I really like the new DeepSeek Flash. It's just as smart as most frontier models and costs pennies. Ooh. Okay. Got them. They're in the Reaper root now. Yeah, basically, this config is in good shape. This error, a stale transient unit from the interrupted rebuild. Ah, okay. Warning, act on. Its one-line boot is using default true. Recommend force import root. Save for you. Your root is on NVMe, not ZFS. And it's silent. Oh, boot ZFS force import root equals false. It silences the warning. Okay, I'm fine with that. So it looks... Let's do this here. I guess it got mad about that. That's fine. Two things. Is the generic localhost derived default. It works, but it's not unique. Fine for a single box, worth knowing if you ever share pools between hosts. I'm not going to do that. Oh! Memes, that's why we had the same host ID. Okay. Yeah, whatever. That's fine for now. That's fine for now. Everything here maps cleanly into hosts NAS. Reset failed, so I need to do that. Reset failed? Is that all there is to it? No. There's run the reset failed. Key step. How do I do reset failed? Okay. System control reset failed NixOS. Ah, I see. Okay. So we're resetting a failed system D service. Oh. Now I get the prompt. Tab, press tab for no echo. So it was hanging on this. Didn't I just delete that? I'd offer to, oh yeah, okay. I have 32 gigs of RAM. With 64 gigs, it would be possible for GLM with Calypso. Wait, what? How are you Is there a smaller version of GLM 5.2 that I don't know about? Because wasn't that shit like 700 billion parameters? Ah, NixOS gets cranky on Switch if you interrupt it. Okay, that's good to know. So, OpenSSH authorized keys. okay, putting this in the authorized keys isn't really problematic, right? Because this is just the public part of a private part. Like this is something other people would see. Calibri is magic if you don't mind slow. Oh, Calibri is the key. I think the service never exited because it was still waiting for the password, so that's a neat edge case. Yeah. Okay, so this worked. Yeah, I'm gonna guess this is fine. I don't actually have a different user. Um, yeah, it's just the public key. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. So, yeah, public keys are there to be shared. Can you give me a Nix configuration section that adds a user named operator? Actually, yeah. Operator should be an admin / wheel / and I need to SSH into it. Should also not require password. I realize that's basically just root. I don't really care. I just like to log in as something that's not root. Let's do this. Something like this. You could say they're there to be made public. And then, let's see. Can I? Where's my? This one, right? Did it already know that? A text. Yes, it did. Very cool. It already knew. Yeah, this is we're getting to a point where this is getting quite cool. Okay. Wheel needs password. False. Cool. So this means I can push a config from my laptop, which means we can start doing configuration from the laptop. That's pretty sweet. You're starting to just eke into how NixOS is awesome, even if you're hitting every branch on the way down. Yeah, no, it's starting to look cool. And this means we can push a config from here, which is gonna be awesome. So now, if I go into this config, you can do this. The only thing that's missing from this configuration is this, right? So now we've got that going on, right? They shouldn't be any different. And what I can do is, been there, you'll love it. I'm really looking forward to it. So what we can do next, once this public key is registered, we should be able to ask the AI to sort of bake it in. Okay. Now let's get back to our proposal. Take what's in the current configuration, .nix, set it up the flakes way, and give me a make file that lets me that pushes the config. That should work. You may want to write a pre-commit hook that runs a validator. Have Claude knock it out. Oh, proves that you still have access to the machine with the new config. That's a good idea. Cool. Very, very cool. Good thing. Good. This is the moment to formalize. Just throw that on YOLO mode. or just use an alias, not a makefile. That makes sense. I like makefiles because they kind of house the thing in the repo instead of in your personal config. I'm also like, this is my C background coming out. I'm so used to writing makefiles for things. Even though it's been quite a while since I've used a makefile to compile C. But yeah. I had ChatGPT make an ssh.nix that keeps all my LAN computers have a share directory so that I can access files on any of them or just have the AI update all my computers with constant access. Interesting. So that I can access it. But my alias is defined in my Nix files. Okay, all right. That might win your case back over. CMake lists.txt for the win. I never got into CMake. I don't know why. Like I think at Guelph we were deep in just we were all in GCC and stuff. Hey, Cake Imaginary, how you doing? So it was just raw make files for me. CMake looks like a much nicer way to live. Split. Fold in our recent additions. What should the migrated config include beyond the current on-disk configuration? Yes. Yes. To the validator point, might dive deeper and use NixFlake's checks attributes. Yes. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. Now we're really cooking. Like we're just on the cusp of cooking with gas. Like it's gonna be really good. For making a validator for the AIR properly property test. Property test. I laughed because I read properly test and was like, yes. One of the things that makes me laugh is the more you prompt AI with just can you make it really good though, it actually makes it better, right? Like if you just sit there and go, but make the code base higher quality code. It's like, I'll go ahead and do that. And often that works. And the more descriptive you get, you really can just tell it like, no, I want the architecture to be like cleaner. I want this part to be functional. I want this, like it just works. Oh yeah, I agree. That is the CMake video was kind of funny. I wasn't expecting to see that. Okay. But stop being horrible at everything. Yeah, this works, but stop being horrible at everything. Yeah. I'll do some. After I think after stream, I'll spend some time sort of getting us up to speed a little bit more. Not today. Actually, when will I do that? I have a lot of shit to do. We might continue next stream just like this. One of the fun things about AI doing all the work is we can just let it go do the work while we chat. Hey Nathan, want to say thanks, man, for streaming. I feel at home. I really appreciate that. I'm glad. My poor AIs are abused by the amount of you're going to do this the right way, not the way you think of. Yeah, I've sent you some of the control files I use for programming. Ooh, okay. I'll definitely be taking a look at a bunch of those off stream. The infamous now replace all sniprint in hot paths prompt. Oh, we did some cursed stuff when we were first learning C. I remember reading the man pages, and we were doing scanf all over the place. Like that was how we were taught, just sort of basics of like creating little CLIs and stuff like that. I will be back and subbed. Thank you. Sometimes the algorithm's useful. Just as a heads up, usually I stream on Mondays. 4 to 6 my time. that's when we usually gather. But this week it was a vacation. It was a holiday here in Canada, so I took the day off, which was glorious. I went for a nice long walk. I've been reading a book called The Dream of Reason, which is like a sort of new history of Western philosophy. Been very interesting. I was surprised at how fascinating I found the pre-Socratics Mondays. I forced them to use result style returns, no unbounded loops, and more. Okay, cool. Off it goes. Early escapes. Oh my god, why do AIs hate early escapes? Yeah, they do. It's weird. I had to tell it like stop deeply nesting things for no reason and just drop out. Just drop out. Ah, what a time. Oh, BSD grep lax -p. Oh yeah. I thought I'd installed the GNU core util. Sorry, let me show you what I mean. BSD grep lax -p, but I've installed GNU core utils. That's weird. And never let the AI optimize anything to a ref count model. Rabbit hole. See, I haven't used AI to write difficult code. Else is considered an anti-pattern. Yeah. Okay, now NAS expense correctly. Let's actually take a look at what we got so far. Clear, ls. Hosts, docs, hosts, openspec makefile. Cool, boot, test, dry. We'll have to shore that up. I use ripgrep and alias grep to it. Ah, that's pretty nice. I mean, for a while, I was trying to just use GNU core utils as they are, and avoid like all of the new Rust-based tooling, because I wanted to be able to just log into any Debian system and just go. But yeah, also RM gets alias to GIO trash because the AIs can. That's really smart. Oh shit, I will be taking that. Did it just run it? Nix is here. Eval succeeded. Wait, did it just run it? I think it did. Adding hashtag pragma to ignore the error does not solve a unit test. What do you mean? If you just get rid of the unit test, it can't fail the test. No, nothing touched on NAS and nothing was built. Okay, cool. Reloading the following unit. So it's still just going about whatever. I don't know. I wonder what it's up to. Okay. Only evaluates the config to a derivation path. Okay. Layout, make deploy. Build on NAS plus activate now plus set as boot default. Cool. Activate now reverts on reboot. Nathan, do you got a Discord link? Also, what are your thoughts on QMLQT? I do have a Discord link. Let me just this. I always forget to put it in the description. I'm not a very good content creator, TM. I feel like stream has been slowly growing though, which is pretty exciting. That's not what I wanted. Discord. Copy. There we go. I mean, a while back our Discord like blew up when one of my videos went semi-viral, and part of that was a really pleasant experience, but part of it wasn't. And so I've been kind of like very slowly been growing the Discord and stuff. And it's been much better kind of just slowly growing the community with people who interact on stream. Okay. Unlike Twitch, mods can't edit your stream and stuff. Yeah, that's really annoying. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, so looks like this all works. Confirms it builds on the NAS from your Mac. All right, let's just try it. Holy shit, that's so cool. Are you guys seeing this? Look at, whoa, oop, that's Discord. Look at this. How? This is gonna be fun. So I did build on NAS only, no activation. Check. Evaluate the flake locally. Show it would change. This is really, really nice. Nix package updates. Pins to move to a newer snapshot. Okay. Isn't it though? Right? Yeah, it really is. This is awesome. Weird that it used password authentication here. Why do that when I have the key? I guess I'll have to turn that off later. Either way. Not a big deal. Oh, have I turned on the SSH auth stuff? I did. We'll fix that later. You might want to at least defer the validator work, by the way, so it doesn't get lost. Yes, I will. Luckily, I mean, I'm on the same page with you about this, so there will be, especially when it comes to my home lab, and doubly especially when it comes to my NAS. Root user doesn't have the key. Memes, you're well done. You spotted it. Been using NixOS for 8 months and haven't touched flakes at all. Interesting. Yeah, I will definitely be spending a bunch of time sort of going over validation and stuff. This is one of the things that I'm like, I've become the guy at work about AI guardrails. So that'll sit in here for now and be fine. Okay. I think. Cannot add because it lacks a signature by a trusted key. Okay. What? Pretty close, though. Pretty close. And then we're going to sign off. I'm already streaming longer than I normally do, but I really wanted to get to a place where I wouldn't feel this kind of like anxious tension to return to the work because it's, you know, in like this half-baked state that I forgot over the course of the week. I wanted to arrive at something that was clean and usable. Use flakes, but pretty much only for the sake of segmenting out my config based on hostname. Ah, cool. Goal. Business successful enough to hire people like Nathan. I do my best. That's also a goal of mine. I would like to run a business successful enough to hire myself, which is something that my friends and I are working on. So it's coming, hopefully, one day. That error is actually good news wrapped in a config gap. The build succeeded on the NAS. It's the copy back to your Mac that's being rejected. Oh, is pulling the build system into your Mac store and your Mac's Nix daemon refuses paths it didn't build. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What do I want next? This seems to have worked. Right. Right, last thing. We're operating via root. I'd like to use the operator user we created, which has essentially or which has admin privileges. Why did I name it operator instead of admin? It's an admin. I wanted to create an admin and I called it operator. Why did I do that? Whatever, we have AI. We can fix it later. That's the kind of... You sure you want to hire me? Whatever, we have AI, we can fix it later. Ooh. I'm getting closer on mine. Ooh, and it's utterly wild how my business is basically being mandated by the US government, military, industrial. Holy that's exciting and interesting. We'll have to catch up about that. That sounds very cool. I didn't realize you had spun up a business. I don't think I'd that's awesome. Okay. No, that's precisely the right mindset. As long as you fix it, as long as you do. Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder, right? Like, how do you avoid the Jira backlog of let's fix it later? I mean, I guess maybe if the fixes are actually as small as you believe them to be, and that's the thing that worries me, right? Because there's always hidden complexity. There's always hidden complexity. But if they really are, it wouldn't be that hard to sort of just hook up Claude and do like a quality of life stacked PR and just boom, 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 hit a bunch of them, call it done. That'd be cool to do. Pretend to fix this later, right? Been working on it since before we started talking. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, so that's all that needed to happen. We had this target, we're just updating it to use operator, and then we're passing it, hey, we're going to sudo things by not having Jira. How do you propose? Okay, first off, everything, is it Atlassian? That's the root company. Everything they produce is just hot garbage. And I've been slowly reading up on what is the term they use for when everybody hates the way that Agile got turned into, what do they call it? Jira. It's not Jira ceremony. It's something more, something more rude. Circus? Though that, I don't think that's it, but that's pretty good. Anyways, how do you propose to track projects and things like that? The if see a bug and don't fix it, it becomes your bug mindset. Keeps you busy while adopting it, but you learn to love your code base. If see a bug and don't fix it, it becomes your bug mindset. Interesting. I think, what does my boss call that? Calls it Boy Scouting, when you find something and then when like in the middle of a feature development, you find something, you just clean something up a little bit. All right, let's see if this works. Make. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? If this works, we're committing, calling it a stream. Fixes for me are based on practicality. Nathan, which compositor desktop environment did you choose when you installed? Oh man, I've tried a bunch. My first love was i3, I think, like many of us. Oh, error. Okay. And we're at the point in the day where we're doing these. I used i3. I even used DWM at one point, though not very long. Hyperland, of course. I've tried, and for the big guys, I've tried GNOME, Plasma, Cinnamon. Were there any more obscure ones? At one point with a friend, I dabbled with, what's that thing called? It's the one that was purely functional. I don't know. Oh, that's rough. I wish I could do this stuff at work. We're on a super old deprecated software that is not being developed anymore, and my boss actively tries to avoid extra responsibilities. That's rough. You're on the way towards the craftsperson mentality that you like from Uncle Bob, but is present in people like Plus and myself. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm aiming for. I have a lot of really good mentors, both here, right? I consider a lot of chat to be mentors, and then in sort of my day-to-day, both at work and in some of the side projects I'm working on. So clear the stale unit on the NAS, then redeploy. Oh, we're doing this. We got this problem again. Okay. It's still giving me this problem. Right. You know what? Reboot. We're gonna reboot and try this. Plasma was Plasma my first? No, my first Linux system was just was Ubuntu 16.04. 2016 was the year I went to I started undergrad, and I decided all the cool kids were on Linux. I was going to be on Linux because I wanted to be cool. Xmonad, yes, that's the one. Thank you. Granted, I work in IT, so it can become overwhelming very fast, and I'm not developing software, but just maintaining is rough. I mean, you can take, I believe you can take the craftsperson approach to anything, right? And so there is definitely a way to make your IT work that way. And if you're yearning for that and your environment doesn't afford it, that is unfortunate. Workday finally over. I can go home now. Thanks for the stream. I think my first foolish one, but enjoy the time. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was really fun. I started out on KDE2. Now that's something. Let's see if this works. This should connect without prompting me for a password, and it does. Lovely. So now, if we go back here, we can do a make deploy. This should work. I did GNOME for a while. It was fine. I'm on Plasma now. Did a bunch of other stuff too. GNOME is still is my default now. I do GNOME with the Forge tiling window manager, and whenever I'm on a, that's it, eh? It just worked. Tight. It's awesome. Okay. We're just gonna add everything. Initial ZFS and flake config. Cool. So we're good. All right, let's wrap this up. Oh yeah, I mean Plasma from what I've seen is better for gaming. Did GNOME for a while, yes. Stuck more than a decade to Fluxbox. I tried Fluxbox. Switched over to fuller DEs when I realized that I was the only user left. Yeah, Fluxbox was like, how would I describe it? It's like a passing interest of mine. I remember I was fascinated by the fact that you could just install as many DEs and window managers and compositors and all of that as you wanted. And so I was like, well, let's just try them all. And Fluxbox was among them. And I very quickly was like, that's enough of Fluxbox. GNOME plus GNOME tweaks, yeah. It works. That's my favorite. I mean, I do like the Mac OS system, and GNOME is extremely opinionated like Mac OS is. When I'm on GNOME, though, I miss plain text config files. That's my biggest one. Oh, I make AI do my commits. Make small modular commits, include verbose commit message, ask for help. Ooh, I'll do that in the future. I had a problem at work, though, where Opus 5 pinged my supervisor on a PR, and I didn't even ask it to commit. It just committed, pushed, and then on the on the PR, pinged my boss and was like, hey, this is ready for review. It was not ready for review. So that was funny. Luckily, I mean, we had a funny conversation about that. If you have spare time, I got RetroArch full going to play classic console games. Ooh, I just set up EmuDeck on my, I gesture this way because that's where my Bazite Steam box is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making that video. I've just been super busy. I guess I'm gonna have to do that with my camera, because yeah. Oh, I've got the DJI mic and the camera, so I can set that up there with a tripod, and we can just have a conversation out there. I think that'll be how I make that video for the most part, because I'm not capture carding my TV. It's, well, maybe. We'll see. I don't yeah, I do commits, but the write the commit message button in JetBrains IDEs is always tempting when I don't care enough. Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone so much. This has been really fun. I'm really excited about Nix. I think we're at the place where this starts to get really fun. So I'm pretty excited about this. Okay. I'm miserable at writing commit messages. AI is a flat improvement on me. Okay. I will catch you all on Monday, and yeah, we'll start specking this out a little bit further. Start building out the home lab with Nix. Okay. Bye everyone.